Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content, we're going to talk about BTC. Let me check if the sound is good first thing first. All right, sound should be good. All right, so in today's content, we're going to talk about BTC. It is actually May 1st, we can say May 1st, 2020, 9:40 p.m. right? I mean, let's say April 30th, 9:30 p.m. because it is May 1st for BTC, right? So let's take a look at BTC on a 12-hour time frame before we dive into the lower degree. So the two most important moving averages and not moving averages, but basically indicators. It is going to be RSI and MACD, right? So as you can see, we talked about it previously. RSI, we needed RSI to make a keep making high highs, and basically price making high highs. It is pretty much very bullish, and we do not have any sort of divergence. You can draw it like this if you want to, right? Or you can just do this and say, oops, we already broke it. And if you take a look at the price action, is doing the same thing also. We broke the trend. Okay, so no sort of divergence. RSI is basically confirming your price action volatility and strengths. At the same time, your MACD is not quite still, okay, as strong as the RSI. All right, so it means even though we basically this one is kind of let's see, it's kind of subjective. You could do this, right? It means it's going to be very bullish, right? But other than that, you could just look for the double top, but we broke the double tops, right? So it's not feasible anymore to be looking for this move. But that's the move we were looking for on Sunday, right, when BTC was just about this area. So I was like, if we retest it, you're going to think like it's bearish, but it's not going to be bearish. It is going to be very bullish, because the double top, if your MACD basically join your RSI in terms of like a strength, it is going to do something like this. Okay, so we do not want the MACD to keep going up. Okay, we just if like the MACD basically follow this trend line, it means we're going to break 10k, even 10.5. okay, we're going to easily break it, because you got to remember your MACD is a combination of multiple moving averages. Okay, your 12, your 9, 12 and 26, right? So since like it is a moving average, your blue line is your 26, your 12 and 26, right? And your 9 is your basically orange line. It means like price going to be moving much faster, because price is not moving average, but these are the MACD is basically moving average, right? Combination, right? So you got to keep that in mind. MACD going higher means like a price going to move much faster than basically the MACD, right? So let's keep that in mind. We do not, okay, in terms of bearishness, if you bearish, pay attention to your 12-hour MACD. So what are you looking for in terms of bearishness, right? Because MACD at some point is going to basically give you a crossover on the 12-hour. So if you get this crossover, it's going to be quite not too bearish, but it is going to create some like a pullbacks, and you're going to get another basically pullback. The next pullback you're looking for, you don't want your MACD to basically do what I just say. Okay, you want the MACD to give you another double crossover with a possible higher lower highs, and your price action can still go up. It is okay, because you gotta remember, price moves faster than your MACD. So price can go higher. It can go all the way up to 10.5, 11k, right, if possible, and then basically create a divergence afterward, right? We're going to be making this move, and MACD is going to be flat, relatively flat. A good example of that is what we made, what price action did just about this area. You can see this move right there. You can see price was going up, right? MACD was going up very strongly. So you can see like the level of basically bearishness we got in this range. I'm going to change the color to red. Let's make it blue. Let's make it this color. Oh, too colorful. All right, in the level of bearishness we got in this level, you're gonna like, oops, we bearish. So that's the type of price action you gotta pay attention to right now. That's what we could be making, because if the price keeps going up, right, and MACD basically keeps going up, it means we're gonna be bullish. So the next move we're gonna be looking for, basically, it is going to be this level of divergence. That's what we're going to be looking for, and we want, at least for the short term, right, I mean, BTC can do this, MACD gonna be doing that, and then we're gonna be starting to look for some reversal pattern. So it means we got like a quite a you know, some time basically before we can reverse, unless volatility is very high and then all of a sudden we drop all the way down. We're going to talk about the level we need to protect in case you know, in order to basically keep up the momentum, right? So let's dive into the low degree, the hourly. So let me take a look at the chat room. Hey, what's up, Jeff? What's up, Robert? So I guess sound is good. Hey, what's up, Wonder Boy? So let's dive into so let's dive into the lower degree. So lower degree, as I said multiple times, right? This pattern, I think I showed you yesterday during my public update, right? And I said, let's do it like this. It looks better. The public update, right? Yeah, my public update, I said exactly this move, right? You need to look for a lower low, okay? This one, right? Mid 8K, right? Or double bottom. It really doesn't matter as long as we get a a divergence, right? What divergence we were looking for? We were looking for this move, right? So we got the divergence. So you just gotta be patient now. Sometimes you get divergence, but the move you're not gonna see it like maybe like till like, you know, the next 24 to 48 hours. So you might not see like a BC pump like, you know, maybe till like basically Saturday or Sunday. So keep that in mind. So we got divergence, and I said if you're unlucky, you can get a triple bottom. This triple bottom gonna come from what? Gonna come from your MACD, because you gotta remember MACD, we do not have a divergence. We were looking for one, but technically we did not have it. Okay, we made a lower low, right? So what are we looking for? The first divergence, the first lower low was for the RSI. The second one could be for the MACD. It is going to be very strong if we make this type of a divergence. Okay, you made triple bottom, one come from an RSI, the other one come from your MACD. So that's going to be very, very aggressive. So what I mean by that, okay, you got your first divergence, right? What do you have? You got your MACD, not MACD, but your RSI. What do you got? You got your divergence, right? And you take a look at your MACD, right? Take a look at your MACD. You do not have a divergence on the first one, the first drop. So what are you looking for? MACD is pretty strong right now. I don't think we're gonna make another lower low. So this move, okay, it might not even drop. It might not even drop that low. Okay, so we're looking for this one. It might not even give you a crossover, because it really doesn't matter as long as basically price just retest it really quickly. It can get bought up very quickly. Like I said, price moves very fast in you know, compared to MACD. Like we can drop all the way down to like a 83 again without MACD even crossing over, because it can get bought up very quickly in a matter of seconds, right? So MACD is not going to react in a matter of seconds, you know, because it is a moving average, right? The blue line, it is a combination of 12 and 26, right? So it's not going to move that fast. So you got to keep that in mind. So this level is very, very, very accumulative. You know, 83 to 86 level, it is going to be very accumulative, right? So upside target we could be looking for in terms of like a correction, because you gotta remember right now we're correcting anything. We basically any price action in this area, it is just correction. It is not a new, you're not making new high or anything, you're just correcting. So the next correction to the upside, if and only if, okay, 84 is a low, even though we're looking for a divergence, the low can still be 84. We could be looking for all the way up to double top. Okay, you know, you can look for 50%. We already retested it, right? So yeah, we almost retested 50% from the previous low. So it's not going to be a big, you know, big challenge to break it. Yes, we already retested. We might spend like a couple of time you know, just about this level of you know, 89.31 area. Let's take a look at it. 89.31. Okay, second target, it is going to be 9K, and then the most important one going to be like just about like a low 9200, which is like 0.786. and 0.786 if you look at it cleanly, you got a head and shoulder, right? We got a head and shoulder 1-to-1 extension. I saw it, but I was ignoring it. move to the downside, right? So I know most of you guys are basically anticipating this head and shoulder, right? Yes, it is pretty valid. We got a head and shoulder, but like I said, most of the time this head and shoulder, they give you a flat correction, right? So, and it did that exactly, this flat correction. Sometimes it doesn't play out, but most of the time it likes to play out. So we got this flat correction within your head and shoulder, so which is pretty common in BTC, right? So at least for the short term. But the takeaway is like this level of mid 83 is not bearish, it is just corrective. Okay, it is just corrective for the short-term volatility we just experienced, right? So keep that in mind. Once again, we're looking for a possible reversal to the upside, but you're gonna be like the downside target. The downside target, if we're gonna be the bears basically manage to get this head and shoulder to play out, and we break this level of 83, it means, you know, Doomboy is gonna be looking for 1-to-1 extension, going to be 75 level. So pretty aggressive, okay, pretty aggressive both ways. You could be getting a 1,000 point move to the downside or another 1,000 point move to the upside. But like I said, you know, in terms of bearishness, that's the only thing we got. In terms of bullishness, we got our basically what we got our basically divergence. In terms of bearishness, we got our basically head and shoulder, right? Keep that in mind. This level of 75, just about 76, if we break this level strongly, all right, with a very big engulfing closing, you know, I would say like hourly, because 15 minutes might get bought up very quickly. All right, so if we close cleanly below like 82 with a hourly bearish candle, you might rather forget about the move to the upside, right? Let's keep that in mind. So let's dive into the hourly time frame. So hourly not looking bad. Volume is looking great. Okay, it is looking great in terms of accumulation. You can see green, you know, price is decreasing. Price is decreasing, volume is decreasing. In terms of red, volume it is decreasing and price is decreasing. So it's showing you like we're accumulating. Can it drop lower? Absolutely, because it is, like I said, we're gonna need a stronger divergence on our MACD. Even if you don't get it, it is better for the basically for the bulls to basically try to get the second divergence, right? I mean, bears, at least for the short term, they're gonna have to drop the price, and it is going to be bullish for the you know, bullish for the at least for the short term for the bulls, right? But it is going to be bearish if we break it. We just, like I just said, we just gonna have to basically look for be concentrating on lower, you know, lower targets, right? So let's keep that in mind. Strong support 85 to 83 level. Do not break it, otherwise we're going to be looking for lower numbers. If we break this level of 89, of course we're going to look for upper level of, you know, 92 to 93 level. All right, so let's take a look at the 5-day chart. On the 5-day, very important. I mentioned it yesterday, right? And I said exactly, it is going to be very important, guys, to keep an eye on volume. You know, 12-hour, 5-day, and volume are pretty incredible, you know, as of now, right? So MACD, nothing to say about the MACD. We already got the we already talked about this bullish divergence, like over the last you know, over the last few days, and not much to say about the RSI on the 5-day, right? So keep an eye on the volume right now. Nothing to say about the MACD. We don't need it anymore on the 5-day. One thing we just have to focus on is like the volume. The volume we got right now, I just said it in my premium group, right? We got 200,000 volume, you know, on 200,000 volume in less than just about 24 hours, right? And the previous, this is a 5-day chart, right? The previous volume was like 400,000, quite, right? Not 400, but like 390, okay, 390k. So right now we got like 211. So it is almost over 50% of the previous 5 days volume, and this candle is only like a 24 hours. So what does it mean? It means volatility is going to be all over the place, right? So breaking 10k within the next 5 days has to be imminent. Otherwise, it could create a lot of bearishness if we close below 86. I just said it like, you know, yesterday, okay? If you close below 88 to 86 within the next 5 days, this candle gonna close like this. You see what I'm saying? So all the all the correction we're going to be making on the lower degree, going back up to 93, dropping back down to 86, 83, has to be done within the next 5 days, and basically try to go back up and close this candle at least above like 9K within the next 5 days, not just a weekly. Okay, weekly candle gonna close in 2 days, right? On the 2nd, I think, right? So, but on the 4th or something like that, right? We gotta be able to close above 9K before the 4th. You see what I'm saying? Close above this resistance. Otherwise, closing this candle like this within the next 5 days is going to be absolutely a bearish setup, right? But it does not mean we're gonna reverse. We can just dip down lower for the after for another 5 days or so before looking for push to the upside, right? So let's keep that in mind, right? So bearish setup on the 5 days is very possible if we do not close this candle above 9K. That's the next takeaway, right? So let's take a look at 3-day chart and 2-day chart. We already basically done with the 2-day and 3-day. Nothing to basically focus. We don't have anything to focus about on the 2-day and 3-day. They already did their job, right? 4-day chart. Let's take a look at it. Nothing to basically. Yes, we got 2-day to go for this for the next 2-day candle, right? 4-day, okay. We got 2.5 days to go. Also, this candle within the next 2.5 days, we don't want to close it like this. So it really matters, like within the next, let's say 2 to 4 days, it really matters, okay? Volatility, the way we're going to be closing and all of that good stuff going to affect like a price action. In terms of volume, within the next like 2 days, if like volatility remains very low, right? It is going to be okay. Even if we close this candle red, it is going to be okay because the volume going to be lower than the previous one, so it's not going to be much of a bearishness. You see what I'm saying? Like this type of a volume right there. Okay, I keep saying on the lower degree volume was very low, so we don't want to keep making low on red volume. You see what I'm saying? Price can be red, right? But if volume is low, it's going to be irrelevant, right? On the high degree, yes. Can we drop down to low 8K, high 9K? Absolutely. But on the high degree, you guys remember when I was showing you the level we need to pay attention to on the 3-day chart, right? Over the last few days, I was saying pay attention to what our resistance was, like 78 to 79, the 100 EMA, and we did retest it, got rejected, and then pump above it. So right now the most important on is the 4-day, and basically 5-day chart. We're not even going to talk about the weekly because we're not to the weekly yet, because weekly is okay, no issue with the weekly. So we're going to move on to the weekly maybe like next week or so on, right? But weekly is looking okay. Even if we close like by Sunday, let's say we close like 82, it's okay. It is still it could not be it might be okay, at least for the weekly, because we just have to deal with the with the 4-day and 5-day chart, at least for the short term, right? So volume is increasing, as you can see on the weekly basis. We were expecting like a 400,000. We already got 500,000, so that's a lot. And I don't think we're gonna break this trend line this week. I don't think we're gonna break it. So we're still making lower highs on the volume, but this candle could could start like a new trend. Okay, it could start a new trend. This trend could be like you're gonna be making like your kind of like your MACD, curving up. So, and that's going to be bullish actually, because one thing you just have to keep in mind. I said it last year. Volume move in segments, right? So what I mean, volume move in segment, right? In segments. So for instance, you're gonna get a very big volume, right there, and then afterward your price action. Right, afterward your price action going to give you a small volume, section, right? So but you got a very big volume, right? But you're gonna be like volume decreasing. I tried to explain this many times, right? So you're gonna be like volume decreasing, and afterward you're gonna get another big volume like this right there. Okay, you're gonna get another big volume, right? And so even though your volume was moving, making lower highs, all of a sudden, right, what you're gonna do, you're gonna be like, oops, volume now is increasing, right? Even though your volume was decreasing, right? Yes, it was decreasing, price was increasing. But if we get this big spike to the upside, what you're gonna say? What you're gonna do? You're gonna do this. It could even be higher, right? Could even be the new record, all right? You could be looking for this move and say, oh, volume is increasing now, price is increasing, we in the bull run. So don't get too excited about volume right now, because we can still make a high lows, right? What you're gonna do? We're gonna make a high lows now, right? We're gonna still be making high lows and higher highs on the volume, right? So you see what I'm saying? So be very, very careful in terms of like how you basically define volume decreasing, price decreasing. I said it multiple times, even last year. That's the first, I explained it last year, all right? When I was looking for BTC to pump to the upside, everybody was like volume decreasing, price increasing. I mean, price increasing, volume decreasing. We're going to be what? We're going to be making, we're going to drop down to like 1800. And I was like, no guys, remember, volume can decrease, price can increase, but volume moves in segments. So even though we're making this move, all of a sudden we're going to make a very big move. And I said it multiple times, even like on the monthly time frame, right? So we're going to be making this move, right? So, and that's exactly what we did. That's exactly. So even though, okay guys, I still believe like we're going to be dropping. We do not want to break this trend with a very big volume. That's absolutely a no-no, okay? If we break this trend with a green engulfing volume, it means like we could be going much higher than I'm expecting. All right, you see what I'm saying? And it can basically change the structure, and we're going to be looking for probably a retest of 11, 12 before like any further move to the downside, right? So very importantly, guys, it is very important to basically pay attention to this level of volume structure, right? So let me take a look at the chat room very quickly. Hey, what's up, Crypto Truth? Hey, good morning. Okay. So basically, guys, that's the only thing we need to focus on the macro scale. I talked about it many times, right? I talk about it all the time regarding the WXY correction, but let's see if right. So on the macro scale, we still basically looking for this move. Still looking for this move, okay? So that's the macro scale WXY correction, and your Y correction, which is like this level, right? So it is also making another WXY XZ correction. That's your W X Y. We assuming this one is making another X, and then the Z gonna be in this area. So if you haven't watched my WXY XZ correction, make sure to check it out. I'm gonna put it in the description, right? So you can go back and recheck it. So that's a move we're looking for. How high this X gonna go? That's a big question. Even if we break 10.5, it is still going to be a WXY correction, right? It is still, instead of WXYXZ correction, it is going to be a W, right? X, as long as we don't break 14K, right? It is going to be WX and Y. You see what I'm saying? So just because we're assuming it can retest 14K, even if it retests 14K, it is, I mean, not 14K, even if it retests like a 10.5, we can still call it an X, right? As long as we don't break 10.5, it is going to be, it is going to be WXYXZ. If we break 10.5, we're going to call it just X, three-way move. So it means this move to the downside going to be A, B, C, right? And then we got this ABC move to the upside, X, and then we're going to be looking for this move to the downside, just like the capitulation we got from 10.5 to basically please don't tell me BTC never going to drop below 8K again, right? So I said it multiple times when BTC was at 10.5. All of you guys, not all of you, but most moon boys were looking for a possible, head and shoulder. And I explained to you guys also last week, don't fall for it. Most people are gonna trick you again. And I said it when BTC was what? BTC was basically at a 43K. If we pump back up to 10.5, do not fall for this head and shoulder. I gave you guys a heads up long time ago. So do not fall for this head and shoulder, because if we get rejected and keep dropping, we're gonna make some sort of falling wedge, right? We're gonna make some falling wedge and try to pump back up, right? So this wedge, you're gonna call it like a cup and handle, head and shoulder, and all that good stuff. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Just give you guys a heads up. I said it over, almost like over 4 weeks ago when BTC was just about like a 4K, and I was like, okay, at some point we're gonna go back to 12K, but if we go up to 12K and so on, depending on the structure, don't fall for it, because we can go all the way up to 10.5 and still drop all the way down to 2K, because the structure is calling for those type of moves, right? So let's keep that in mind, right? It is not time to be a moon boy. It is time to stay very focused on price action, and basically take it day by day instead of calling for like a 50,000 BTC, right? On the lower degree, that's base stamp, very good volume structure. For some reason, on the hourly, once again, volume decreasing, price decreasing. That's very bullish, guys. So your price is making this move. So you can call it a wedge if you want, all right? Just this section, you can call it a falling wedge, and then you could expect like a 1-to-1 extension too, right? So you can expect a retest of a 9K very, very shortly, right? At least for the short term. How? Because WXY is a correction. You can have a WXY correction. Let's see. I mean, it is a correction. Market correct like 99% out of time. Market is basically correcting, because you gotta remember, what is a correction? Correction is any price movement is correction. Any price movement, whether it is up or down, you're just correcting from basically another move. Price might be coming from like, let's say 100K, drop down to 8K. If it goes back up to 9K, it is correcting. All right. So price is correcting, because as long as you basically start an impulse, you basically afterward you're gonna be doing correction all over the place. All right. So why all WXY have to be downward? So let's take a look at the daily again. Because you can get a WXY upward. This move we get into the upside, it is a WXY itself, right? This move, it is a W. It's not all WXY that are basically I explained this many times, right? And I said, if we're going to be making a 1-to-1 extension of our basically W correction, BTC going to be very bullish, right? BTC going to be very bullish. So this move, that's a WXY, right? So we already retested 1-to-1 extension, which is 95. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, let's just be cautious and not call for like a 20K, 30K, and 50K BTC, or all of a sudden, right? Let's just be very cautious. Whoa, look at the daily, how we close on Bitstamp. Not so juicy, right? So And one thing you also got to keep in mind, these wicks, most of the time price gonna go back and retest 50% of it, which is like also resistance. We talked about it on our previous our previous live stream when BTC was like 83, and I was like, you know, the real target to look for is like 93, really. Okay, so if we go to that level, you just have to be very cautious. Can we pump all the way up to 10K? It can be a fake out. We can pump all the way up to 10K. It's not gonna change anything about the, you know, the fact that, you know, at some point we're gonna get a reversal, right? Yeah. Where is no short zone? No short zone is basically a low mid. Like right now, you don't want to even short BTC. Okay, you don't want to short BTC. Let's see. Let's go on the lower degree. Right now, you don't want to short BTC, right? You could accumulate, because like I say, I just showed you on the lower degree, right? On the lower degree, I just showed you on the lower degree. I just showed you. Let's see. That's the move we're looking for. All right. So on the lower degree, we're looking for this move. All right. This move, it can retest it, right? So I'm gonna be accumulating all the way down to this level, because I'm looking for a I'm, you know, looking long, right? So I'm gonna be looking for a retest. It can retest it, but I'm not gonna be basically long it from this level again, right? So, you know, I was looking for a long in this range of 92 to 9K, and basically did a lot of add up all the way down to this level to bring average down. So, but I'm not gonna be adding back to just by this level of 87. Would be waiting for it to go back down to like 8400, so you can bring your average down. But if you're looking to short this low, I did it before, like at 8600. I tried to short the, let's see, 86, this level, okay, 8620. Okay, so you can see like the structure we made back in 8620. Yep, 8620. I was waiting for BTC to break 8620, but it broke 8620 and then got bought up very quickly. So that's the type of a structure I'm avoiding right now, to look for forcing the short, right? Again, and then you shorten it, it can break the low and then get bought up very quickly. So just gotta keep that in mind. In terms of wave analysis, yes, it is bearish. I should be basically shorting it, right? But this structure we got right there, it is an ABC correction we could be anticipating. Correct. That's absolutely correct. But BTC, I've seen it many times where BTC going to give you this ABC correction. You're going to anticipate an impulse, which is correct. That's what I'm supposed to do, and that's what we're supposed to be looking for. But looking at the volume structure, price is decreasing and volume is nearly zero right now. It has to change the trend. Okay, it has to change the trend. And even if we get this move, you could be looking for this wedge, right? You could be looking for this wedge, at least for the short term. So let's keep that in mind. Oh, not 50K. I'm saying, like, do not be calling for all those numbers like 50K and so on. It's too early, because as soon as we pump like a 2000 point, all the moon boys gonna be calling 50K, 100Ks, and all that good stuff, right? So let's keep it in mind. So this area is very accumulative. I would not be basically looking for like a heavy price action in this range. Just accumulative. Okay, very accumulative. So, and the pump gonna be like, as soon as we break this 9K level, you could be looking for up to like a 93 to 95 level. All right, but very accumulative. Wouldn't be shorting in this area, especially the bottom. You don't want to short like from like a 83, 84 range. Yes, you can short at 87, not financial advice, right? Because it's, that's a median line. If you really take a look at it, that's your, you got a 50% chance of being profitable, longing or shorting this range, right? Because you're in that's your median line, and you're gonna be okay, at least for the short term. But if you short it right there, you're gonna be doomed, right? You got a good chance to short right there, but I would rather basically take the breakout and then short from that level all the way back down, right? Because the structure, like I said it yesterday, we can still make this move, right? Even if we go back up, watch out. Do not basically be too bullish at 93, 95 area. I mean, it is just correction. It's not like I'm looking for 100K or stuff like that. I'm bullish on in this range, this correction, right? I'm bullish on it for a retest of it. But I'm not saying like we're going to like 100K. We're going to take it day by day. The macro scale, if you haven't watched the entire live stream, make sure to just rewind it. Macro scale is still calling for lower numbers as long as we below 14K. But this correction, you can be bullish. I already showed you the bearish pattern, right? So if we basically break and close cleanly above like a 82 with a nice hourly engulfing candle, it is going to be bearish. You could be looking for a 1-to-1 extension all the way down to like a 75, right? Your 1-to-1 extension could be all the way down to basically 7500 range. Capiche? Right? So that's a bearish setup. It's not about being bullish or bearish. It is up to you. I'm just showing you like the setups, what to look for and what to do. It's not about like Send Crypto is bullish or Send Crypto is bearish. I'm just gonna play it as it is, right? If you're a moon boy, you can also do this. It's the same thing, guys. Doesn't matter how you look at it. You can still accumulate down here, all right, and look for this move. So very accumulative area, all right. Why trend reverse? Trend has to I mean, not has to reverse, but basically you're gonna get higher volatility when basically volume is approaching zero. It's just normal, all right? So it's kind of like driving your car and all of a sudden you slow down. You cannot basically, when you're driving, you cannot slow down your car to zero because you have to move. What do? You just hit the gas, right? So the car can move faster. That's it. So if volume is basically decreasing, it has to change, okay? And the way it's gonna change most of the time, it has to change upward. It's not cannot change like downward because it is already zero. You see what I'm saying? In order for volume to go to zero, market has to go to zero. For that way, no one is buying, no one is selling, right? That's the only way market volume can go to zero, right? So, but two things you have to just remember: price going up and volume going down, right? Yes, that's bearish, okay? That is bearish, right? But at some point, like sometime, like you can get price going up, volume going down, and all of a sudden, price gonna make some sort of a wedge, bull flag, whatever. And then volume gonna increase, and then price gonna increase. Instead of basically dropping, volume can increase upward in a positive manner by increasing the price, meaning like more people are gonna be FOMOing and buying, and then the volume structure gonna be upward now instead of being downward. Okay, I just showed you like on a weekly basis. Okay, I just showed you on the weekly, especially on the weekly, on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis, I just showed you how volume was decreasing last year, right? And I was like, this is bullish, guys. This is bullish. You see, that's the same exact structure. That's the same exact structure. So does it mean we're gonna make it again? We can make it again, right? We can do it again. So we just have to be very cautious right now. Just have to be very cautious. Just have to be very cautious. Even though the macro scale is calling for lower numbers, it does not mean like BSA has to correct higher before dropping lower, right? Doesn't mean BSA has to correct higher all the way up, as long as we don't break 14K, this level, right? It can still correct. I just showed you like 5 minutes ago, we can correct all the way up to 14K and it's not going to change anything about the structure of the macro scale. Nothing. It is going to be bullish, right? If it does, right? Not sure if we got enough strength to do so, but let's say we go all the way up to that level, you're still gonna get a W, X, and Y, because remember your X on the macro scale is 14, right? Remember your X on the macro scale is 14, so as long as we don't break 14K, it is an X. This X is still intact. Okay, it's not, it is independent of how high we go right now. This X, as long as we don't break it, we can do this, retest it, and then still do that. Okay, but not saying we will, but it is something like you just have to keep in mind, right? Yeah, that's a lot of green candles in a row, but you take a look at the monthly, right? That's a lot of green candles too, man. When price is going up, market doesn't care how many green candles you get. Look at it. You're gonna be like, that's a lot of green candle. We need a red one. We got a red one, and then after you get almost like a 20 of them. So we also got on the Heiken Ash. We also got a lot of red candles, green, right? Monthly. So let's keep that in mind, right? Monthly just started green. So let's see. So let's see. That's the first green Heiken Ash monthly candle. We're about to close. So all right, guys, I'm just gonna call it a day. You know, be cautious out there. Market gonna be volatile within the next 4 to 7 days. You know, till next week. This time it is going to be very volatile. So be cautious and basically you know, happy trading. All right.